Pebbles Ladime Doe, Jordan Kofer, Bailey Reeves, B. Love Slater, Jalila Jamar. These are the 5 transgender people that have been murdered since August. In 2019 alone, 19 trans people have been murdered. Of those 19, 17 of them are trans women of color. My name is M. Lane, and I am the Vice President of the Board of Directors of SAGA, the Southern Arizona Gender Alliance. Our mission is to support, advocate, and promote justice for Southern Arizona's transgender, non-binary, and gender-creative people. Our organization has been improving the lives of trans people in our community for over 20 years. Tragic stories of violence against trans people hit us daily. Hate crimes against trans people have risen 9% since 2016. 1 in 4 trans people are denied regular medical care, 1 in 4 are homeless, 1 in 4 lose their jobs. SAGA trainings eradicate ignorance and violence. Ignorance is the key component in the assault against trans people, especially women of color. Ignorance leads to hate, hate leads to discrimination, discrimination leads to death. This data is heartbreaking, but it's not hopeless. Education created by transgender people is the critical first step in reducing these statistics. For over 2 decades, we continue to provide training and services throughout Southern Arizona. SAGA remains the only trans-led group providing trans-specific education in the Southwest. Imagine every day your colleagues misgender you, call you the wrong name, or make jokes at your expense. Your HR manager hires a non-trans person to train them all about what it's like to be you. These trainers speak about challenges and trends seen in research, but they do not speak with the authentic voice that comes from living the data and experiencing the challenges of being your true self. Statistics are only one part of the trans experience. Our training is holistic. We develop curricula that addresses the challenges from the viewpoint of those most directly affected, and develop policies that make it easier to live and work in the world. By actively seeking opportunities to train and create allies across sectors, we build bridges that expand beyond agencies to create advocates through the community. Help us build those bridges. We need support, we need resources, we need advocacy. Your gift of $25 is printed and digital materials for training. $100 is Spanish translation of that training. $500 trains 1 organization, and $1,000 trains 20 volunteers to do this work. $30,000 creates a part-time permanent position to train thousands in Southern Arizona. Your gift will honor the lives of Pebble Ladime Doak, Jordan Kofer, Bailey Reeves, B. Love Slater, Jalila Jamar. SAGA needs you.
Really great, really great. Your body's tight. You'll see it. Make sure that it's not, whatever you have to do. Especially when you're gonna start with something as heavy as that. You need to just, you're not telling us why you're giving us those names until they're actually out. And so you need to signal somehow that you're gonna hit us with a truck, because that's what you're doing. When you went into those 1 in 4s, and then there were a couple more like really staccato sentences right after that, I would just visualize like a paragraph break between each of them, because they ran into each other a little bit, and I think that that's like a really valuable 100 words that you've got there, and just 1 in 4 this, 1 in 4 that, and then you had your couple of sentences and just really kind of let that marinate. When you went through the workplace that wasn't doing things in an ideal way for the communities that they were trying to serve, you had like 1 or 2 sentences in before you went into what you guys were doing. I would just get rid of those sentences. To be honest, I think just slamming right into what you guys do and how it's different would be a little bit more impactful. And hopefully that gives you the opportunity then to add a little bit more detail in terms of what you guys are actually doing. And how your program is unique, and you talked about some of the perspective issues, but how that manifests itself, I think, could be really illustrative to the audience. And then the other thing is the ask was kind of a lot. I would just get rid of the $25 ask if it were me. And then, I think, I can't even remember because I think there were 4 or 5. But one of them was, a number with a 0 on it and an outcome with a 0 on it. And maybe just chop off the zeros and tell us what, that one was actually doing. But really good content. You got it in with 3 minutes. And it's a really good start for day one. So congratulations.
Thanks.
Hi, Em.
Hi.
Good job. Yeah, you got to move a little bit. Like, especially when you're naming the victims. Like, I would like you to go, this person, and then there's this person, and then there's this person. I mean, it just kind of punches down that we're talking people and more than one and lots of them. But you were really good at describing the problem and the tragic outcome and the reality of things, and the stats that you gave were so concise and strong. I thought it was in the middle of your speech. I was like, that's really well delivered and well said. Wording was perfect. Don't change that.
Okay.
But the ask, we got to chop that up a little bit.
All right.
Definitely. Like, just stick with 3 at the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Em.
Hi, Laura.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm glad,
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you.
Yay. I agree with the ask. I think only 3 would be better. And this sounds so minor, but I would start with a different name because it's not recognizable as a name right away, and so I was confused.
Oh,
So
okay.
just start with a different name and put that name in the middle.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but it would help because otherwise I just spent a moment trying to figure out what you were talking about.
Okay.
And this is the one thing I was thinking, but I don't know how you're going to do it. I just have this thought that I wish you could figure out a way to help us understand that transformational moment, not for me as the ally, when you're providing the education and the exposure and helping me get over my ignorance and stigma or whatever. Like, what is that? And I would love for there to be something in there about that, because all the educational piece is kind of technical, and I liked it a lot, but I would love to just have something that helped me understand how I'm going to make that turn, and why that education is so transformational. So that's my only thought. You did a great job.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's beautiful.